In the age where legends tread the line between history and myth, Eldoria stretches vast beneath the eternal sky. This realm, knit from a tapestry of magic and might, is a place where the unseen forces are as real as the sprawling empires that canvas the land. To the north, the frosted peaks of the Silent Crest hold secrets locked beneath ice and stone, while the southern reaches bloom with the everflame tree, its fiery petals a beacon in endless verdant forests. Central Eldoria is dominated by the Silveran Empire, a beacon of civilization surrounded by wild frontiers. Here, cities are built upon the ruins of ancient civilizations, their stones imbued with forgotten magics. Political power in Eldoria is as fragmented as the landscape, with noble houses and merchant guilds all vying for control over resources and allegiances. Yet, in the shadowed corners of these bustling cities, where the streets know countless stories, one figure, a phantom to some, a deliverer to others, commands a whispered reverence. The assassin known only by their deeds and the enigmatic traces they leave behind. As dawn breaks over Eldoria, the golden hues of sunlight wash over Veilgarden, the Empire's jewel and the stage for our unfolding tale. Here, amidst a city teeming with ambition and intrigue, the next chapter of the Silent Footsteps is poised to begin. Veilgarden, the vibrant capital of the Silveran Empire, embodies the epitome of splendor and secrecy. Built around the majestic ivory castle, which pierces the sky with its spired rooftops, the city spreads like a living organism, its heart beating in the grand plaza where merchants from distant lands hawk exotic goods. The air is thick with the scent of spices and the murmur of 1,000 languages, a testament to Veilgarden's role as a crossroad of commerce and culture. The architectural grandeur of Veilgarden tells its own tale of a city layered in history. Streets paved with cobblestones wind unpredictably, leading to sudden, expansive marketplaces or secluded courtyards known only to locals. High above, the aristocracy observes from their balconied estates, their lives as intricate and secluded as the hidden gardens behind their manor walls. But beneath this facade of prosperity, Veilgarden thrives on the currency of secrets. Shadowy figures broker information in the dimly lit taverns, while cloaked agents exchange covert missives under the cover of dusk. It's in these shadows that the Guild of Shadows weaves its intricate web, a network of spies and assassins who play the game of power with lethal precision. Among them, yet apart, moves the Silent Footsteps, a figure shrouded in mystery. Known for their unmatched skill and untraceable presence, they navigate the underbelly of Veilgarden with ease. As the city prepares for the annual Festival of Masks, a celebration that sees its denizens don ornate masks and partake in night-long revelries, the assassin's next move is anticipated with both fear and fascination. In a city where everyone hides behind a facade, the true face of power is about to be unveiled. Within the shadowy labyrinth of Veilgarden, where secrets and lives are equally fleeting, the assassin known only as the Silent Footsteps navigates the city with ethereal grace. A figure both specter and savior, their true identity remains cloaked in obscurity, known only by the signature they leave behind, a single black feather placed beside their victim. The Silent Footsteps has earned a legendary status not only for the precision and silence with which they execute their tasks, but also for the enigmatic moral compass that seems to guide their selection of targets. Rumors abound in the undercurrents of the city. Some say the assassin is a former noble seeking justice. Others whisper of a cursed being bound to an ancient vow. But the truth remains as elusive as the whisper of their movements. Their reputation serves as both a warning and a beacon in Veilgarden. To the oppressed and downtrodden, the black feather symbolizes hope, a sign that tyranny and corruption do not go unchecked. To the corrupt elite, it is a mark of dread, a reminder that their deeds could place them in the cold crosshairs of the Silent Footsteps. On this particular evening, as the sun dips below the horizon and the shadows lengthen, the assassin's presence is almost palpable in the air, stirring the anticipation and anxiety of the city's residents. With the Festival of Masks fast approaching, all of Veilgarden buzzes with the energy of the unknown. The festival's chaotic revelry will provide the perfect cover for the Silent Footsteps' next mission, and the stakes are higher than ever. As the city dons its masks, the assassin prepares to strike. their motives as masked as the faces of the festival goers, their next move a mystery that will soon unfold under the cover of celebration and night. In the cloaked hours of the night, as Veilgarden's heartbeat slows to a whisper, the silent footsteps sits perched atop the gabled roof of an ancient library, overlooking the mosaic of life below. Here, amidst the scrolls of history and whispered secrets of the past, the assassin contemplates the code that binds their existence, a moral compass forged from personal convictions and a mysterious, unseen force. The ethos of the silent footsteps is neither random nor chaotic, but calculated and purposeful. Each target is chosen with meticulous care, often those whose actions disrupt the delicate balance of justice and power within Eldoria. This unique selection process has cultivated an aura of mystique and fear around the assassin, positioning them as a spectral arbiter in the eyes of the public. Rumors suggest that the assassin once suffered a great injustice, perhaps at the hands of the corrupt elite, leading them to a life dedicated to balancing the scales. Others believe that the silent footsteps is guided by divine intervention, chosen by the old gods of Eldoria to enact their will. Whatever the truth, it is clear that each assassination carries with it a message. Corruption will be met with retribution, and power does not place one above moral law. On this night, as the silent footsteps prepares for the impending Festival of Masks, they review the dossier of their next target, a corrupt magistrate known for exploiting the weak and padding his coffers at their expense. The plan is elaborate, involving stealth, disguise, and the chaos of the festival. As the assassin readies their tools, a blade as silent as their footsteps, a cloak as dark as the night sky, they reaffirm their commitment to their ethos. The silent footsteps is more than just an assassin. They are a symbol of veiled justice in a city teeming with hidden tyrants. As Veilgarden dresses itself in masks and merriment, the assassin knows this next act will send ripples through the shadows of power, reminding all that no one is beyond the reach of the silent footsteps. The sun climbs high above Veilgarden, casting its light on the cobblestone streets bustling with the daily chaos of city life. Vendors shout over one another in the sprawling markets, selling exotic spices from the southern reaches and silks woven with enchantments. Children dart between stalls, their laughter a bright contrast to the somber discussions of their elders concerning the latest political machinations. In the artisans' quarter, the clang of metal and hiss of steam rise from the workshops where magic and machinery intertwine. Here, a renowned blacksmith, famed for her ability to forge swords that whisper in battle, hammers at a blade destined for a highborn side. Her eyes, wise and weary, occasionally flick to the mysterious figure who visited last dusk, asking after a weapon not for war but for a silent kill. Elsewhere, in the lush expanse of a hidden courtyard, a secret meeting unfolds among members of a lesser-known noble house. They plot their ascent to power, their voices a murmur against the rustling of the silver-leaf trees that guard their privacy. Their young scion, a charismatic man with ambitions as vast as the empire, speaks of alliances and betrayals, unaware of the urchin who listens from the shadows, his mind racing with the weight of the secrets he overhears. Meanwhile, in the lower city where the buildings press close and the air hangs heavy with the promise of rain, a street urchin dreams of a different life. Having fled an abusive home, she survives on her wits, pilfering food and coin when luck favors her. Today, she watches the nobles from afar, their finery a stark reminder of the divide between their world and hers. Yet her eyes hold a spark, a determination to rise above the mire of her beginnings. As the day wanes and the shadows lengthen, all of Veilgarden begins to pulse with anticipation for the Festival of Masks. The energy is palpable, a mix of excitement and underlying tension, as the city prepares to cloak itself in mystery and revelry. Little do the citizens know, amid their preparations and distractions, the silent footsteps moves among them, a shadow preparing to strike in the heart of their celebration. Deep beneath the bustling streets of Veilgarden, in a chamber lit only by flickering torchlight, the Guild of Shadows convenes. This clandestine network of spies, assassins, and informants is the unseen hand that often steers the fate of the Silveran Empire, their influence reaching from the darkest alleys to the highest towers of power. The Guild's lair is a labyrinth of stone and shadow, its walls lined with maps and scrolls detailing the intricate web of alliances and enmities that define Veilgarden. At the heart of this chamber, the guild's council, cloaked in garments as dark as their intentions, gathers around a stone table. They are figures drawn from the depths of the underworld, thieves who have stolen crowns, assassins who whisper death, and spies whose faces are forgotten even by mirrors. On this day, their focus is the silent footsteps, an enigma that has long eluded even their far-reaching grasp. The guildmaster, a figure shrouded in mystery as much as any member, regards a set of reports with piercing eyes. This assassin moves with a precision that could either doom or empower our endeavors, he muses aloud, his voice echoing slightly in the hollows of their chamber. A new dossier is placed on the table, outlining potential strategies to either recruit or eradicate this rogue element. If the silent footsteps can be persuaded to join our ranks, their skills could prove invaluable, one council member argues, her hands gesturing animatedly. But if they cannot be swayed, another counters, his voice grim, they pose a risk to our operations and must be dealt with. As they debate, plans unfold for the Festival of Masks, a perfect theater for their machinations. The guild intends to use the festival's chaos to their advantage, not just to observe or engage the silent footsteps, but also to advance their own hidden agendas. Unbeknownst to the revelers who will soon fill the streets, the Guild of Shadows will be playing a deeper game, one of intrigue and power, where every masked face could be a pawn or a predator. As the meeting concludes, the chamber empties, leaving only the flickering torches to witness the dark plot set to unfold. Above, as the city prepares for festivity, below, the gears of conspiracy continue to turn, setting the stage for a night that could alter the course of Veilgarden's shadowed heart forever. As dusk falls over Veilgarden, the city transforms into a tableau of mystery and spectacle. Tonight is the Festival of Masks, an annual celebration that cloaks the city in intrigue and allows its inhabitants to revel in anonymity and festivity. Streets that were bustling with the day's commerce are now draped in vibrant silks and lit by lanterns that cast soft, dancing lights onto masked faces. Every corner of Veilgarden comes alive with music and laughter. Minstrels roam, their lutes and flutes weaving melodies that seem to stir the very air. Dancers in colorful costumes move like spirits through the crowds, their identities hidden behind elaborate masks that range from the beautifully ornate to the grotesquely whimsical. Stalls offer masks for those who have come unprepared, each a masterpiece of feathers, jewels, or carved wood, promising the wearer a night of disguised freedom. In the Grand Plaza, a stage has been erected where actors perform ancient tales of Eldoria's gods and monsters, their own faces hidden as they embody heroes and villains of lore. The tales are a reminder of the thin veil between reality and the mystical, mirroring the dual nature of the festival itself, both a celebration and a masquerade. Amidst this carnival atmosphere, the Guild of Shadows moves stealthily, their members dispersed through the crowd, eyes sharp behind their masks. They are not the only predators in the throng. The city's elite, freed from the usual constraints of their status, engage in covert exchanges, their dialogues heavy with implication, safe in the anonymity provided by their guises. Somewhere among the revelers is the silent footsteps, their presence betrayed to none. With a target in mind, the assassin navigates the festive chaos with a calm precision, their mask no more elaborate than necessary to blend in, yet imbued with an elegance that speaks of deadly intent. Tonight, their mission will weave through the tapestry of celebration like a silent thread, pulling unseen at the fabric of power and justice. As the festival reaches its zenith, the energy of the crowd swells, a collective effervescence that masks the sharp undertones of the night's darker purpose. In Veilgarden, beneath the light of lanterns and the shadow of masks, the line between revelry and reality blurs, setting the stage for acts that will echo long after the masks are set aside. In the midst of Veilgarden's masked revelry, the focus of the silent footsteps narrows to a single individual. Magistrate Corvinus, a man whose corruption has seeped deep into the judicial foundations of the city. Known for his lavish lifestyle and ruthless suppression of any opposition, Corvinus has long exploited his position, amassing wealth at the expense of the city's most vulnerable. Tonight, Corvinus revels among the highest echelons of society, his mask an ornate creation of gold filigree that fails to hide the greed evident in his eyes. Unaware of the silent mark upon him, he moves through the festival of masks with the arrogance of one who believes himself untouchable. Around him, sycophants and aspiring nobles laugh at his jokes and vie for his favor, each hoping to gain something from his influence. For months, the Silent Footsteps has tracked the magistrate's misdeeds, gathering evidence, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That moment has come tonight, under the guise of celebration, where the lines between friend and foe blur like the faces behind the masks. The assassination plan is meticulously crafted. The Silent Footsteps has studied the magistrate's habits, learned his preferences for secluded spots where he meets with his closest allies. Using this knowledge, the assassin has chosen a quiet garden off the main plaza, favored by Corvinus for its privacy and the illusion of security it offers, as the place where justice will be served. The garden, draped in silver moonlight and shadows, becomes a stage for retribution. As the magistrate enters, laughing heartily at a whispered jest, his guard lowered in the night's frivolity, he does not see the figure that slips silently from the shadows, nor does he sense the danger until it is far too late. The Silent Footsteps approaches with a ghost's grace, the weapon, a blade as silent as the wind, ready at their side. Their heart beats a calm rhythm, syncopated with the distant thrum of festival music as they prepare to restore a measure of justice to the corrupted heart of Veilgarden. Tonight, the magistrate's reign of tyranny will end, and another black feather will find its place beside the fallen, a silent testament to the cost of corruption. The festival's cacophony melds into the night, a distant echo to the tense silence of the secluded garden. Here, under the cloak of darkness and festivity, the Silent Footsteps readies for the crucial moment. The magistrate, Corvinus, intoxicated by the night's revelry and his perceived invulnerability, strolls into the moonlit garden, his laughter trailing off as the air grows cooler and the shadows deeper. As Corvinus pauses to enjoy a private moment away from the prying eyes of the public, he is blissfully unaware of the silent figure that now moves towards him with lethal intent. The Silent Footsteps, cloaked not just by their physical garb, but by the very aura of the night, closes the distance with measured, almost reverent steps. In a swift motion, the assassin draws the blade, a thin, almost invisible sliver of silver, perfectly balanced for this night's work. The magistrate turns, perhaps sensing a shift in the air, a momentary chill of premonition. His eyes widen behind his golden mask, the realization dawning too late as he meets the gaze of his executioner. The strike is swift, a whisper against the rustle of leaves. The blade finds its mark with precision, a silent promise kept. Corvinus collapses, the impact softened by the garden's lush grass, his final breath a foggy whisper into the cold air. As the magistrate's life ebbs away, the Silent Footsteps places the signature black feather beside him, a symbol that has become a whispered legend within Veilgarden. It is both a calling card and a message, a declaration that justice, though sometimes shrouded in shadows, will find its way. With the deed done, the assassin melts back into the darkness, their presence dissolving as seamlessly as it arrived. The festival continues unabated, its music a stark contrast to the quiet end of a corrupt life. The Silent Footsteps' mission is complete, but the night is still young, and the festival holds more than just celebration within its masked embrace. As the assassin disappears, the garden remains a silent witness to the balance of justice restored, if only for a moment, in the complex tapestry of Veilgarden's power and intrigue. As the Silent Footsteps departs from the scene, the rhythmic beats of the festival's heart pulse undisturbed, echoing through the labyrinth of Veilgarden's streets. Unseen by the assassin, a shadow stirs from behind the drapery of ivy that clings to the garden's ancient walls. It is the young noble, Alaron, who had earlier slipped away from the festivities to find solace from the suffocating crowd. Intrigued by the secluded garden's whispering solitude, Alaron had unknowingly become a silent observer to the magistrate's final moments. Hidden in the shadowy recess, he had watched in horror and fascination as the Silent Footsteps executed their grim duty. Now, as the assassin disappears into the night, Alaron is left alone with the chilling tableau of justice and death. His heart races as he steps cautiously towards the magistrate's still form, the black feather stark against the pale moonlight. Alaron understands the weight of what he has witnessed. This was no ordinary murder, but an act carried out by the legendary figure shrouded in Veilgarden's whispered tales. Seized by a mix of fear and a burgeoning sense of purpose, Alaron realizes that this knowledge places him in a precarious position. He could reveal what he saw, potentially unmasking the city's spectral avenger, or he could keep the secret, allowing the legend of the silent footsteps to grow. The implications of each choice whirl through his mind, a tumultuous storm that mirrors the festival's revelry. With the magistrate's corrupt dealings no secret to those who suffered under his rule, Alaron feels a grudging respect for the assassin's ethos. Yet the reality of death, so stark and final before him, sends a shiver down his spine. The power to influence the scales of justice, even indirectly, is now unexpectedly thrust upon him. As he retreats from the garden, the festival's masks no longer appear as mere facades of celebration, but as shields guarding everywhere's hidden depths. Alaron knows that his own mask, literal and figurative, will be tested in the days to come. With a last glance at the dark feather, a silent symbol of veiled retribution, Alaron steps back into the masked crowd. The night air feels colder now, as he ponders his next move in the intricate dance of power, secrecy, and morality that is Veilgarden's true essence. This encounter, once merely an unanticipated interlude, might just redefine his path forever, entwining his fate with that of the silent footsteps.